Hey there, folks. I'm Kimberly Dyckman. You are watching Web2.0.tv. Thanks for joining us. And we're at South by Southwest Interactive. The best of the best are here. Christopher Justice, a dear friend of mine from Sparkside, is joining me. I'm so glad to see you.
Thank you.
You
It's
look
great to see you.
lovely.
Thank
I
you
know I
so
get
much.
to tackle your sister later, too. So.
Yeah, she's on a couple of sessions after.
Okay. Well, I want to, for those of you out there that aren't familiar with Sparksite, he's going to sizzle it, and you will just jump on this website. So tell the world about you and yours.
Well, I think what we decided to do is create a production company that handles trade shows, interactive events, and so forth. But we did something a little bit different. As we actually go from print to event, and most production companies will handle certain elements of a conference. But from the conceptual planning stages, agendas, speakers, and so forth, we kind of wrap all of that into a formula which we call high attendance.
Okay.
And it's something that we're trademarking and going to patent, how really to get butts and seats at conferences and to deliver more value. I mean, if you can see this at a lot of trade shows, there are a lot of booth zombies. You know, people just standing at a booth handing out swag.
Right.
And we've developed some unique methods that will actually fill the booth with people that really are qualified leads, and your message is more compelling when you can deliver education and not just your brand message. So that all of that information and such will launch in the next month.
Well, so it sounds like, you know, there are marketing companies out there that stick, they're a little old school, and they stick to the traditional. Everything is print, everything is collateral. Send a letter, get a client that way, that sort of thing. Get your name out. And then there are the folks that have leapt ahead and said everything's got to be online. Everything is all about the interaction. You're not skipping over either one of them. You're actually bridging the gap and saying, you know what, you got to use a little bit of both, because there are folks that will stick with the true blue of the print, and then you're making it so you're using web design as well, and then actually gathering all these folks together in an interactive presence at an event.
Yeah, one of the things we have done is, as we approach companies to just talk about marketing strategy, immediately we recommend no email marketing and no print marketing. Frankly, it's kind of an overdone concept. I'm still also waiting for the day when I can have a browser that completely filters out AdWords from Google. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Somebody come up with that.
Yeah.
So creative.
But what we do is actually do a lot of customer testimonials and customer interviews for companies, and that actually has a 10 or 20 times conversion ratio to any other print and email medium and marketing medium that you can do, because as we've evolved in this Web 2.0, this sociological revolution of interaction, people actually validate companies' messages and their brand through other people.
Right.
And we read things like Amazon, not necessarily to buy things from Amazon, but to see the peer reviews.
Right.
And if we actually showcase a brand through the customers, through customer interviews, landing pages, right on the front page of those company websites, that validates and produces a more compelling message than any other print and web or email that you could possibly send out.
Right. It's funny that you brought that up, because obviously in a lot of these conversations, from the online conversations to the social media and marketing, that topic of the average Joe is relying more and more so on reviews and comments and blogging back and forth, and that's how they're making some small decisions, some big buying decisions. But it's funny because people used to just puke a testimonial on the back part of their website, and it wasn't a big deal. It's like, well, at least it shows that I had clients.
Right.
Now you're actually moving it to the forefront to say, in that social media world, people want to see it front and center. It's a brilliant idea.
Well, it's actually funny because on some of the websites that we design for either a customer conference or an overall brand, we'll actually put the testimonials before any of the content or the copy, because people will see keywords in those testimonials or the video testimonials,
right,
and they'll take elements of that. And one of the things that we're also doing was we'll close caption all of the customer testimonials in their interviews so that those become searchable. And as kind of the next generation of video searching starts to emerge with things like Spock and so forth,
right,
you'll actually search for people to validate a company's message more than you would just a direct website.
Oh, that's fascinating. Now, what other online tools do you use for your company itself, so you can actually sort of ground even more so what concepts you are doing and then propel yourself forward?
Well, I think what we're doing is actually manufacturing conferences. Is we will actually work with a company or work with even our own brand and create a forum where we can educate people on a topic that's of interest. We hope to do a show with a major company here at the event in the next couple of weeks that will really involve all online video, and we'll bring people into a forum where we educate them on the products. We'll teach them how to use the products in practice at their organization, and then we'll leave a conference situation where you've got all of these domain experts throughout the Austin area and beyond that will teach and educate people at a mini conference, much like a bar camp and so forth.
Right.
It's more valuable. You don't send them into a situation where you're doing a sales pitch. In fact, in many cases, if we manufacture a conference for a company or a brand like IBM or Borland and so forth, they're not allowed to even mention their brand. They're only allowed to describe the process and to educate. The brand enforcement and that brand affinity will come later, but actually speak through your industry experts and your technical experts, and that's far more reaching than just an overall brand pitch about one product that you might have.
So what? How do you guys? I mean, I got to ask the marketing question. Like, how do you guys practice what you preach? How do you get your name out there? How is Sparkside slowly and surely rising above other companies that say, well, we do a little bit of that and we're marketeers, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think what we've done is we've invested the past 18 months off of building the high attendance formula. And that will launch, and it'll be something that we broadcast. Because if you look at conferences and trade shows, in many cases they're a loss leader. And you're willing to lose money on a conference if you have one thing, which is high attendance. That's what you want. You want your press, your PR, your sponsors, and so forth. You want to fill the booth because an average trade show will have a brand lifetime of about 5 to 7 years. After that, it has to be refactored because the market changes and so forth, and people get bored. You've seen this with things like Comdex, and you see it with CES and so forth. So you have to remanufacture a new brand that creates compelling interest. And I think that the traditional concept of having a vendor expo floor is going to slowly change, and actually the show floor will become an educational environment versus just a place to broadcast products. And that's kind of what high attendance will weave in, is that we believe that not only being a production company that can handle print to event, but also the formula applied correctly will generate more attendance at the events.
Sounds brilliant.
Well,
let's see you do even better, and even better, even better. I'm so jazzed that I got a chance to sit down with you again.
Thank you so much.
I even just love the name of it is just, it brings brilliance, and it just gives people that aha, like this is where I need to go. I need your help. I need to go from A to Z, and you guys are the folks to bring us to it.
We try.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of South by. You and your sister stay out of trouble.
All right, thanks.
You're watching Web 2.0.tv, powered by ProAce Technology. We've got a few more brilliant minds coming up.